With main assets and asset components, you can group your fixed assets. And for me, this is very interesting when you want to analyze, for example, several fixed assets together, like the total acquisition cost, the total depreciation amount, the total maintenance expenses, for example, for several fixed assets together. Or if you want to group your fixed assets in a report like the book value 1 report. Now, how can we set up these main assets and asset components? Well, let's look at an example. So we already have the forklift truck, which we have created in one of the previous lessons. So this is a vehicle with a straight line depreciation and so on. Now, suppose that we have purchased a new battery pack for the forklift truck, and that we want to group these two because they relate to each other. Okay, then the first thing that we need to do is, of course, create a new fixed asset. So let's take a battery pack. So this is a tangible fixed asset. And let's use the subclass equipment just to show you that you don't have to use the same subclass as the main asset to which you will assign this component. And because the main asset is a vehicle, but you can perfectly use another subclass if you want. And the same goes for the depreciation book information. So in this case, I will stick to the straight line depreciation, but instead of using the starting date April 1st, I will use April 6th, and we will only depreciate in 3 years. You see, so also this is different from the main assets. Okay, but we don't have a main asset yet, because you can see here main asset component, component of main asset. These fields are still blank. Now, how can we assign this asset as a component to the forklift truck? Well, that's quite simple. You have to go to your main asset. So this is my main asset. You could also do this from the list, but let me open the fixed asset card. Next, I can click here on more options, then navigate. Here you can see the main assets option, and now I can go to main asset components. So in here you can now list all the components that you have. So currently there's only one, which is the battery pack, and that's it. So now if you return to the main asset, you can see here that this is a main asset. And if I show you the battery pack, so let me open the card, you can see now that this is a component of fixed asset 120. And then later in the process, you could go, for example, to navigate, main asset statistics. At this case, because I didn't post acquisitions or depreciations yet, everything is still 0. But once that you start posting acquisitions and depreciations and maintenances and so on, you can analyze here the total amounts for all your main assets and components together